If y'all would please rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, if we could do the roll call, please.
Councilmember Larson,
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy,
Yes.
Councilmember Dan Hahn,
Present.
Councilmember Melinda Cox,
Present.
Councilmember Julia Stubble,
Present.
Councilmember Josh Hahn,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Present.
You have a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks to our guests being here. Quick reminder, if you've got a cell phone with you, please put it on the silent setting. And if you need to have even a whispered conversation here, please step outside of the courtroom, move away from the door as the sound does tend to travel in. But we're always glad to have folks with us. Thank you. Council, next up is approval of the agenda. Could I get a motion and a second for that, please?
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Larson with a second by Councilmember Cassidy. I'll call for the question. Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And that passes. Next up is communication from the floor. Please approach the microphone and state, oops, we don't have our microphone up there. We will have our microphone up there. State your full name for the record. This meeting and comments are electronically recorded and all comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Anyone interested in? We call that a mic drop. Yes, sir.
Charles Woolwine. In Wyoming, if an unborn baby cannot survive without its mother, it is considered inviable and may be destroyed. Wyoming has many wonderful attributes, but Wyoming also has a very dark side. Wyoming leads the nation in amount of per capita consumption of alcohol and leads the nation in rate of suicide. In addition, Wyoming leads the nation in increased rate of abortions. In 2020, 91 unborn little girls and boys were killed. In 2021, 103. In 2022, 540. In 2023, 573. And in 2024, 625 little unborn babies were destroyed. And of those cumulative 1,932 slaughtered babies, how many were reported as being killed due to the mother's life being at risk? None. Zero. You might be thinking, sure, Woolwine, but every single one of those killed babies was inviable. But do you know what inviable means? Once again, inviable means that the unborn baby needs its mother to survive. So because it cannot live without its mother, Wyoming says it's okay to kill it. How awful is that? Currently, for some unborn baby animals, Lander is already a safe haven. For example, in Lander, although it is legal to kill a 7-week-old unborn little girl, it is illegal to destroy an unhatched hummingbird egg of the same size. How about a 12-week-old unborn little girl who is the same size as an unhatched peregrine falcon egg? Horrifically, while the little girl can be destroyed, the peregrine falcon egg is vigorously protected by law. How about a 5-inch baby sea turtle brought back in a bucket from a beach in Florida? How can you get rid of it? Can you kill it? No. Killing it is a federal offense. But a 14-week-old 5-inch unborn baby boy is eligible for destruction. And while an 11-inch baby grizzly bear cannot be harmed within the city limits of Lander, a 22-week-old 11-inch unborn baby girl can be destroyed. In my opinion, it's time for Wyoming to return to its historically moral roots and lead the nation from out of the darkness and back into the light. If Wyoming refuses to lead, then who will? Wyoming needs to take back its leadership role, and this could begin with Lander declaring itself to be a safe haven for unborn little girls and boys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Woolwine. Anyone else for public comment?
Dan Schultejohn, 276 Willow Creek Road, Lander, Wyoming. First, I want to thank everybody, as I had requested to change zoning at 569 Garfield Street. And because I've learned a little bit along the way about civics and community and things like that, I think I was a little premature in my request. So if it's okay, I would like to rescind that request, and at a later time, I'll approach it correctly. We good?
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Anyone else for public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to mayor and council updates, and we'll start with you, Councilmember Larson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The only thing I've got today is went to the senior center, and they stated that they are going to have their prime rib dinner. It won't be for Valentine's Day, but it'll be the week before. They didn't want to compete with the fire department on their prime rib dinner. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind, and that'll be the 7th of February, and support the senior center. Thank you.
Councilmember Cassidy.
Mayor, council staff, just one thing from the planning commission, at a meeting last Tuesday. Again, they asked about whether we had any communication from folks in the community about the short-term rentals definition. Told them I would bring that up again here. And they did kind of refine their approach in the sense that they were asking us they're going to ask us what we have heard. And then after that, they're going to approach folks in the community, professionals, whatnot, to kind of cull their opinions separately. So that's kind of their view on how they're going to step through that process. And then just the only other thing was that there was a draft, I guess you could say a draft ordinance that was brought in on Tuesday last. And it had about 12 or 13 points on it that were discussed, and they brought a bit of concern in the room. Probably half of them. It was brought in initially communicated as being administrative cleanup off of last year's kind of wrestling match over zoning. And probably a little more than half of those were administrative, and some of them were not at all. They were substantive things over which the community had wrestled, debated, public comment had come up, and they were mixed together in this document. Ultimately, those were kind of gone through one by one. The things that were administrative were taken up. The other ones were kind of pushed to the back burner based on the dialogue and the discussion that happened last Tuesday. So it's something that it appears that it might be coming our way shortly. I don't know how that ended up in front of them. I don't know what the driver was for that to happen. But sitting there as the liaison, I expressed some concern about it. So we'll see what progresses after that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. As a quick note about the procedure, that is the procedure, having a planning commission to look at that and provide their review. As you know, they're an incredibly thoughtful and diligent group. So having a group like that specific to one of our titles and then bringing it to us for further review. So that is the desired procedure for
Yeah,
it.
and I understand that. It just felt exceptionally desynchronized from the council and what the council's carrying and debating over currently. I kind of communicated to the folks on the planning commission that it's my impression that there's a bit of fatigue over that topic still. And with no forewarning, it went from wherever it originated to the planning commission, mixed, very deeply mixed between substantive changes over which the community had wrestled last year, mixed in with administrative issues. And that was quite concerning. If we are going to go that pathway, and I do agree with using that as the method and the pathway, it might be worth discussing maybe in more depth before we do that. Because had we not attended, had I not messaged this right now, it would come before us with some very prickly points that were debated last year.
Okay.
You know, so maybe we can do a better job of synchronizing that effort. So,
Great, thank you.
thanks. Yep.
Yep. Councilmember Danton.
I was there also, and some of the topics that ended up on that paperwork are actually a lot deeper. They go quite a few years back. So it was interesting to see that coming back, because it has been, I would call it a war, not a fight, on some of the stuff that if it comes back to the council. But anyway, I have a couple of things. First off, Light Up Lander was awesome. I think that not only the kids, but the parents had a blast. I think that there were a lot of smiling faces and thumbs up and all that. So that was pretty neat. And then the second thing is the Lander Old Time Rodeo Association. They're kind of, everything's going good. They're in their winter sport type of stuff. And they have some questions, and I don't know who I need to go to. So I guess I'll ask now, who do I need to talk to on some of the questions concerning LOTRA? Is there a specific, do I come to you? Do I come to Regine?
Yeah, great question. So it's going to depend a bit on what the question is. And this also gets into where the liaison position can get tricky,
Okay.
in the sense of we want folks to be able to serve as bridges of information,
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm.
But we don't want to get into trying to,
You don't want me being the in-between on
Mm,
questions.
right, so to be more, they have a question about this, who should I direct whoever from LOTRA board to
Okay.
go have the conversation, so
Okay.
that you don't end up kind of being caught in the tennis match.
I don't think I'd
And
get caught up in anything, but
yeah, I know it can be a thin line that
Yeah.
we want
Yeah.
to be able to
Okay.
step out, but providing that information, like that
Okay.
sounds like a question for such and such. So let's touch base and figure out
what
who's
I'll
the best
do,
person for them to
yeah,
talk
I think
to.
what I'll do is I'll come to you.
Perfect.
And then you can tell me how we should proceed, and
Sounds good.
and then I'll know it. So anyway, that's all I have
Awesome.
tonight. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Cox.
I don't have any updates for my liaison positions, but I would like to know, I think I agree with this origination, just having some better communication about where this zoning ordinance originated from and how we're going to move that forward, because we have talked about doing it incrementally and looking at it through a different lens a little bit. So if that's happening behind the scenes, it would be nice for us to have a little bit of a update on that. And aside from that, I'm on the road and traveling, which is my new life. And it's nice to be here virtually.
Right, thank you. Councilmember Stubble.
Thanks, Mayor. Let's see, the tree board is turning their attention to education around the benefits of hiring certified, licensed and bonded arborists. And they're thinking about how to do that at the Garden Expo and perhaps in, other ways to reach out to the community and communicate the reasons of that benefits homeowners and the system that we have for certifying and, understanding who's licensed. And so that's exciting for them to think about that kind of community outreach portion of it. They're also trying to wrap their minds around updating the tree inventory, which was, a direction that comes out of the ordinance that we've recently updated, but was in the existing ordinance as well. The last tree inventory we have of the public forest is 2011. So it's seriously time to look at what the health and status of the trees are and where we need to direct our attentions and priorities for the next coming years so we can get ahead of problems ideally and start those replacement plans. It's not, I don't want to make it sound like city staff are not doing some of that work, but I think having an overarching inventory and plan, I think will be a benefit. And that's in close coordination with staff, that they're thinking through how to get the inventory done and, prioritizing the public forest, and our green spaces first on that. And then there are also, the fun work of choosing which tree species to offer at the Garden Expo as free trees to the community. It's really where they come alive in those meetings, I'll say. Energy and Environment Task Force are just problem solvers. They're a cool group to work on. They're in deep conversations with staff right now around water inefficiencies at the golf course and how to tackle that with the golf course board and the city, as well as trying to understand, what improvements can we make to City Park around water and inefficiencies and moving, as staff have talked to us repeatedly, I think about like moving to raw water and then how do we water more efficiently within that system as well. And so nothing actionable coming out from either group for us right now, but busy bees for sure on both groups. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad we've got a tree board back up and running, especially with, the beloved cottonwoods in City Park are already past their typical life expectancy. So, wonderful that we've taken care of them. And, oh man, we just have to accept that at some point, those are going to come down. And that's sad. But anyway, Councilmember Josh Hahn.
Oh, the only thing I have, I feel Light Up Lander went exceptionally well.
Yeah.
It was excellent to see the community all come out, and it was fairly warm, so it was
Yeah.
nice for all the little ones. It was great seeing everybody come out. It's kind of fun that it's getting a little bigger and everybody really enjoys it. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, I'll tag along with that. Can't go wrong with offering more praise. Likewise, the community involvement, thanks to fire department, PD, Ann and her work for getting it organized, and to have 40 floats is awesome. It started with 8 and this year we had 40 and tons of folks out. So that was awesome. Some other things. So I had a meeting one-on-one with one of the Lander Chamber members, thinking about how we can move to another meeting, and all of it very productive and focused on having a more collaborative and interactive relationship. So appreciate that. No data is set yet for our next meeting, but really appreciate that we took the time and had a great meeting. Did attend the last LEDA meeting. Unfortunately, they did not have a quorum, which was a bit frustrating. That's not the first time that's happened this year. And that led to a pretty robust conversation about what can they do to have a more consistent participation from their board members, because that's what's really needed to make progress on that. So they're aware of it and wanting to work on it, which is great. Looking forward to Friday's city holiday party. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hope everyone can attend for that. Couple other things. So there's going to be an update to the Mayor and Council handbook that WAM is working on. We reviewed the changes yesterday, so look for that. And it'll probably be, well, not probably, it'll be brought forward at the February meeting in Cheyenne. And also we looked at what's been lined up for those, a lot of really good presentations. So if at all possible, I hope we can attend that one. Along the ideas of housing, and I'm not sure what happened with the Planning Commission, but there was a nice article in Cowboy State Daily about housing around the state and some of the successes that Cheyenne has had in terms of changes that they made in their ordinances and the successes that they've seen for that, and how it's seeming to increase their housing stock. And then lastly, I brought some handouts for y'all. These were 2 different speakers at the National League of Cities. So the Dignity Index is one thing. Tim Schreiber, who's the head of that and started it, spoke about it in a really neat way to think about how we can better engage with differing opinions and make it being an interactive dialogue and not something that shuts folks down. So they had a lot of examples of how you could change what you said to move it up the dignity index. So, 1 being the lowest, 8 being the preferred approach to it. And then the other one, the Disagree Better, this was started by and presented by Governors Lujan Grisham from New Mexico and Governor Cox from Utah. Likewise, just great presentations, and I thought this is something we would likewise appreciate with, and I think it would benefit all of us to incorporate more of that in how we, in what we write and how we speak, and help increase the level of civility in civics, basically. So had that. And both of them have web pages with lots more information on that. So encourage folks to take a look. And that's it for me. Let's turn over to staff. So interim chief, I'm sorry. So as I mentioned that, so sorry. our final interview for the chief position will be on the 17th. So apologies for a bit of a time gap in that. We had some scheduling challenges on that. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully a decision can be made soon after that. And then other interviews need to start happening for the treasurer position as well. So some changes here at City Hall happening. Okay, now I'll turn it over to you.
Like for real, for real.
For real, for real.
Thank you, Mayor. I too would like officially from the police department to give a thanks for Light Up Lander. We can't do it without everybody involved, the fire department and Danielle. They put a lot of work into the organization of it and how it all went. I've heard nothing but positive feedback, so thanks for that. Just over the last couple of days, we've had the CARE team here. It's a state and federal funded agency or team of agency that Governor Gordon's put together for cybersecurity. And it's been about a year since the police department was hacked and they got our servers. So we were able to corner those guys into coming up and helping us. And they've spent a couple of days here looking through our systems, looking through our servers, kind of finding our weaknesses, best practices, things we've done really well. They've also identified things that we need to do better. So that was nice of them to be here. We're going to have a kind of an official debrief tomorrow morning with the mayor, myself, Rochelle, Lance, and kind of look at where we are and things we need to start doing better and look at. Another thing kind of right in the mix of Lander PD right now, what we're working on is I'm currently working on the 2025 year in review. It'll be on your first January meeting of what we've done this year at the PD throughout the year. So look forward to that. We're hand in hand working right now with CWC. We're putting together a post-certified academy that will go through CWC. Right now, Wyoming is one of the only states that puts all their law enforcement through a state-funded academy in one place. Everywhere else, Idaho, Colorado, Utah, it's all held through community colleges and junior colleges. So we've teamed up with CWC. They're on board. The Post Commission is on board. Our scheduled first Post Academy will be fall of 2026. I myself have been very involved with the criminal justice program over there, helping with that, but also our staff. They will utilize our staff, our subject matter experts to teach and engage and teach the officers as they go through there. So that's pretty exciting. Looking forward to that. I've been vocal about some of the health and wellness and some of the documentation. I actually signed an agreement and went in with a company called Frontline, which is our new health and wellness software where we're tracking use of force, we're tracking health and wellness on our officers, commendations. Going live shortly, you will be able to get online at the city website or the Lander Police Department Facebook page and file a commendation or a complaint. That'll streamline some of the stuff to where it's all documented. The bonus of this is it's helping my supervisors and leaders document better where their guys are and what's happening and what they're going through. I think we do a great job for 2 or 3 days after an incident, but it's shortly forgotten several months down the road. This program's set up at a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month reminder of have you checked in with them and what have you done? And so I'm pretty proud of that. That's a pretty big deal for me moving forward with the health and wellness stuff. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start building the plan for Lander's first Citizens Police Academy. In the fall, we would like to hold our very first Citizens Police Academy. We'll take applications. It'll ideally be 2 hours a week for about 6 weeks, where they get 2 hours of all detectives one day so they can see what the detectives do, all patrol work one day, all DUI work one day, and just kind of open up to our community what we do in the police department and how we do it. And it'll give them kind of a one-on-one view. So I'm pretty excited about that. The other thing that fell behind here is the officers over the years had received 5, 10, 15-year, 20-year plaques of service for the police department. That has fell way to the wayside. That was one of my goals to get fixed. I actually just got the plaques yesterday. So at the Christmas party, city Christmas party, all of the staff will be given a plaque for their years of service with the police department and be acknowledged for that. I think that's extremely important. The last thing that I have is Dwayne Kaiser has filed his letter of retirement. He's decided that it's time for him to move on. And I think it's one important that all of you know that too, the beginning of January, we are going to be advertising to fill that position. So if you see that start to come out, you understand why. And our goal is to get someone in here within a couple weeks before Dwayne leaves to do the cross training and kind of get some things narrowed down that he does. Dwayne, if you don't know, Dwayne does so much here that nobody else knows how to do, which is a little bit of a problem, right? So, but getting someone else in to learn how to code the doors and a lot of that kind of stuff. So I think that's all I have for now, unless anybody has questions.
Any questions?
Mayor, if I may?
Yep.
Thanks, Interim Chief. There's a lot there. I was trying to take notes because I want to come back to a few of those. First, I'm really grateful to Dwayne. I'm sure I'm not alone. So he's served really in a dedicated way as Steve Lander. So please share that with him as well. And yeah, we wish him best in his retirement when he takes on next too. On the Citizens Police Academy, really intriguing. That's a new idea to me. Is that something that would be held outside of school hours? So high school students, I wonder if that's intriguing because for
It will
speaking about
be.
the industry as a job possibility too.
Will be historically. So we used to do it when I was in Sheridan. I ran it there. It's a pretty common thing across the nation for bigger communities, but
Mhm.
I feel like our community of Lander is generally pretty intrigued by what we do and want to see where we're at and what we're doing. Historically, it's held in the evening, a couple hours in the evening, one day a week. Again, I'm at the very beginning of it, but sometimes you can get cooperation from local entities that'll provide a meal for one night and advertise that way by providing a meal for this police academy. And it'll be a pretty neat deal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, if I may.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's exciting. And the degree of community outreach, I think is something our community is thirsty for as well.
sure.
Yeah, there's a lot to track. Thanks for the in-depth update.
Anything else?
I did one thing.
Yep.
Just, when you talked about the plaques, it's something that from my previous life, is there a way to recognize the spouses as well when you give them those plaques? I mean, I don't know if you have it in the budget for that, but that's what we did at promotions and things of this nature.
So
Okay, you know,
my first answer to you, sir, is yes, there is a way. We're kind of behind the ball right now as far as budgetarily is not the issue. It's the time frame between now and Friday, right?
sure.
But at least my personal stance is when they're recognized and when they're called to the front, that's my duty and the presentation to make sure that their spouse and family is mentioned in that because
Yeah.
they are the core of their success with the Lander Police Department. So I
Yeah.
think that's extremely important.
I think just something as small as an escort and a bouquet makes a difference,
Sure.
for
Yep.
those spouses. So
I'll do my best to pull something off outside of this hat.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hunter, thanks for stepping in for Lance.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'll do with Lance and try to fill in for Regine too, if between us. Is she on? Oh, man. Oh. Yeah, lots going on, with Falls awarded us a lot of extra time to get some other projects done. So we're, parks crews and streets crews are taking advantage of that. But yeah, I'm just available for questions and try to answer if you guys have any with Public Works.
Any questions for Hunter? Okay. We're ready for you to tell us you don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
And Rochelle.
The only thing I have would be to draw everyone's attention to the upcoming council meetings.
Thank you.
So next week, the mayor had tentatively talked about having a meeting on the 16th. She communicated to me that that will be canceled. There will be no meeting on the 16th. But on the 17th in the afternoon from 2 to 4, I will call a special meeting, even though it's sort of an open house roundtable style discussion concerning Title II and the liquor licensing potential changes. So that will not be a Zoom meeting and there will not be a recording. It's at the community center. And last time when we had a Title II meeting in this room, it didn't work out well because of the format to try and Zoom it and record it. You couldn't hear people talking and it was basically just at some point you could see people in the video, but that's about it. So please note that that will be called a special meeting, just in case a number of council members want to attend, and in the wanting to be as transparent as possible about those meetings. Then January 6th, the mayor has indicated to me she will call a special meeting just for a work session to discuss Title II and the potential changes that the council would like to see in that ordinance or not see. And then January 13th, we will resume our regular schedule. And I anticipate, as all meetings that begin in January, there'll be a plethora of items on that agenda. That's all I have.
Yep. Thank you for stepping in about the meetings. And again, part of the decision of not trying to record with having a microphone is once you have people stand up and speak to a microphone, it changes the vibe in the meeting. And we wanted that to be a more comfortable place for folks to speak. And for a lot of folks, if they're not used to public speaking, having to stand in front of a microphone is not comfortable, and they'll avoid doing that. So just want to thought was given to why we're doing that way. Okay, next up, we've got the, should we first clarify, Regine has not been able to join us yet, I don't think.
Yes, I am online.
Oh, you are. Sorry, Regine.
I don't have any updates, but I'll answer questions as needed during the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Great. Let's move to the consent agenda. The items listed are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a councilor requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered on the regular agenda. So on this are to approve the November 12, 2025 special city council meeting minutes, approve November 25, 2025 special city council meeting minutes, approve November 25, 2025 work session minutes, and bills and claims. I get a motion in a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Danhon with a second by Councilmember Stubble. We'll call for the question. Unless there's discussion? Nope. Councilmember Josh Hahn.
Yes.
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 Okay, that motion passes. Moving to the unfinished business action items. So first up is to approve third and final reading of ordinance 2025-9, rezoning original town of Lander, block 29, lots 5 through 10 from R5 multifamily residential district to C commercial district.
And Mr. or Mrs. Mayor, Miss Mayor, I believe this was tabled last time, so it'll need to be
So first we need
untabled
to
first
untable.
before you have discussion and vote.
Great. So-
Mayor, I move we untable ordinance 2025-9.
Great. We get a second?
Second.
So moved by Councilmember Stubble, seconded by Councilmember Josh Hahn. So the vote to untable, we'll start with you, Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
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 Wonderful. So now we can discuss the motion, and we've heard from Mr. Schultejan his preferences to not have it pass. Thank you for clarifying that. A little different. Oh, I think he's departed. So to be in compliance with his wishes, we would vote no for it. So, and we'll start with Councilmember Josh Hahn.
No.
Mayor, I don't believe we have a motion to.
Oh, sorry.
To
We have to
approve.
move to approve the third and final reading. Thanks for catching that.
So moved on approval of third and final reading.
Okay, and a second.
Second.
So again, from motion to approve by Councilmember Stubble with a second by Councilmember Josh Hahn. Now we will vote on the topic. Councilmember Josh Hahn.
No.
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 And that fails. Kind of an oddity for us to do that. Next, approve third and final reading of ordinance 2025-16, an ordinance repealing Title III, adoption and enforcement of uniform codes and standards for mobile and modular buildings, and enacting Title III buildings and construction of the Lander Municipal Code. There's supposed to be a continuation of that? Nope, I think that's it. Okay. So can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
About a second?
Second.
So that's moved by Councilmember Larson, seconded by Councilmember Cassidy. Do we have any questions for this? And Hunter's here can help us out. Any questions? Okay, seeing none, call for the question. Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
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 And that passes. For our new business, first up is to approve Resolution 1376, creating a job description for part-time cleaning technician. I get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Danhon, seconded by Councilmember Cassidy. Rochelle, we've got you as a person to explain a bit of this. I can also tag team with you.
The request for proposals for the cleaning contract for City Hall, it was a 2-year term, and that is expiring December 31st. In discussions with putting it out to bid and if we wanted to change the scope or what that looked like, Mayor White, I'll let you take it from there.
Great. So I mentioned before the challenge of having an independent contractor and being able to have any control over the standards at which that individual or company operates is very challenging. So we're opting instead, which we think we can do for a comparable price. This would be an unbenefited position. And then this way we have more control over what the outcomes is. Last meeting, I kind of joked about the challenges we've had with, or you may have had with kids about, what does clean your room mean? And how you have to define that. So similarly, what does it mean to have a clean building? So this gives us more opportunity to do that. So hopefully we'll have some good applicants for it. So any questions or discussion for that?
Mayor, I think what I'll add, just I hope, I'm optimistic that this will also help solve that when we've previously sought independent contractors for this position, we haven't had much of a competitive process. We have very little
Correct.
interest, and this is a contractor position. So I hope as being though part-time and non-exempt, perhaps we attracted a larger pool of folks who are seeking that degree of security.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
And we've actually had an individual express interest who would be lovely to do that and very qualified. So anything else? Okay, call for the question. Councilmember Josh Hahn.
Yes.
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 Great, that passes. Next up, approve Resolution 1377, a resolution of the governing body of the City of Lander, Wyoming, referring to Resolution 1638, relating to certain tasers previously declared surplus property and authorizing their disposal pursuant to Wyoming Statute 15-111. Get a motion and a second, please.
Move to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Josh Hahn, seconded by Councilmember Larson. So either interim chief, how about we turn it over to you about why this has come back up?
Thank you, Mayor. So one of the reasons this is resurfaced is originally when we put them out as one block. We chose not to divide them up. We set it out as one big package. There was no bids, no interest through it, researching and communicating with other smaller municipalities. They want them and they need them, but they don't need all of them and they don't have the budget for them. So in honor, honestly, of building relationships and helping other municipalities that are in a time of need, they literally serve zero purpose to the police department. And I really don't want to just see them sit there till years down the road, someone throws them away. We blasted it out on a WHAM website to where other small municipalities, hey, we have these if anybody needs them. And we had 3 responses within an hour. So this came back before you to reapprove that we can separate it out and we can do with them where they need to go. To be frank with you, it's my intent to give them to the other municipalities because they don't have the money, but they need the tool and they're no purpose to us. So if we can help them, I say we do it.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to help other communities out. There's no more question. We'll call for the question. Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
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 Wonderful, that passes. Item C is approve S2512 Felix Edition subdivision. I get a motion and a second for that.
Yeah, I move to approve the Felix Edition subdivision.
Great. And a second, please.
Second.
So moved by Councilmember Danhon, seconded by Councilmember Cassidy and Regine. Thanks for joining us. If you can fill us in.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a subdivision on the north edge of town. The lot is entirely surrounded by county on the north and the east sides. So it is accompanied by a variance. The variance request is so that there should be no streets, curb, gutter put on the east side of these lots. That was also suggested to pass. So the subdivider is not proposing any construction for the subdivision. All the meters, water services, utility services are in and built infrastructure. They're just trying to make one big lot into two smaller lots. And they asked for that variance just so they didn't have to do hundreds of feet of city curb gutter street. City staff recommended approval of this after the variance is granted. The Planning Commission did pass the variance, and they are recommending approval of S25.12 from the council.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on this? Okay, seeing none. Councilmember Larson.
What's that?
Call for the question?
Yes.
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 And that passes. Next up is item D, approve CS 25.01 lane subdivision, lot 6 re-subdivision, county subdivision within 1 mile. And Regine, I'm guessing this is you again.
It is, thank you. So this is a county subdivision directly behind the Smith Street lots and north of Spriggs. And this went through a lot of review between city administration, building department, planning department, and public works. And the county subdivider did accommodate all of the comments that we asked for. So the subdivision is in line with our 2020 long-range transportation plan that extends out Spriggs. It is in line with our 2023 master plan that indicates that there'll be future water and sewer down Spriggs. And there's a proposed private drive under a current city water annexation agreement, and they have listed that on the plat and retained that. So the city staff found that the subdivision to be in accordance with the master plan, the long-range plan, the 2023 master plan, and the Planning Commission recommends approval by council of CS 25.01.
Great. Any questions for Regine?
That currently sits outside of city limits.
Correct.
Would it
Yep.
be annexed?
Not necessarily, but the way it works is that the city has the right to review anything within 1 mile of city limits. So as far as I know, not, and Regine, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not planned for annexation at this
It's
point.
not planned for annexation at this time. They do not want any more city water and sewer services or streets for the 4 lots that are being subdivided.
Yeah. Councilmember, oh,
Don't they have to, in the paper, don't they have to sign that they will accept annexation if down the trail we want to annex it? Isn't that the way we usually do things?
Sure, I can clarify that. So if someone outside of the city limits wants city water and sewer services, we have them either annex at that time or sign a water annexation agreement, where in the future, if the city wants to annex that lot, they cannot contest annexation. So this lot right here, these 4 lots, do not want city water and sewer services. They have been approved through the county for wells and septics. The part where the water annexation comes in is a portion of this property, which is their entrance drive, is already under a current annexation agreement to get it to the old Tracy Thompson house. So that portion is listed on the plat that if we ever wanted to annex that, it could not be contested. But the rest of the 4 lots in whole without the drive are not requesting any city services.
And did you have a follow-up? No, okay. It's clear. Okay, whereas I jumped the gun, we need a motion and a second for this.
Move to approve.
Anyone for a second?
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Larson, seconded by Councilmember Stubble. With no further questions, Councilmember Holland?
Yes.
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 And the motion passes. Next up is approve S 25.10 Highland Estate Block 1, lots 4 through 5 replat. This time I'll do it right with a motion and a second, please.
Move to approve Highland Estate Block 1, lots 4 to 5 replat.
Great, and a second.
I'll second that.
So moved by Councilmember Danhon with a second by Councilmember Stubble. And Regine, once more, we'll turn to you.
Okay, thank you. If you look in the packet, you'll see that this letter, city staff comment letter, is dated in October. The reason the delay is because the city had requested some more geotechnical information and some drainage information on these lots. They're on the steep hillside on the north side of Overlook Terrace. Most people are familiar with that up on the way to the hospital. So what the Planning Commission did was they approved recommendation by council contingent on the city engineer receiving and reviewing the geotechnical information and the drainage report. Those have both been received by City Hall now, and the Planning Commission is recommending approval of 25.10. What that will do is the geotech information and the drainage information will be available to the building department for any future building permits.
So Regine, sorry, I'm a little unclear. So the letter suggests tabling, but did you suggest that that information has come in and it has been able to be considered? Or is it
So
still?
city
preferred to
staff
be tabled?
recommended tabling to the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission did not follow that recommendation. They approved it contingent on the city reviewing and approving the information. So they have already recommended it for approval. They did not table it.
Okay, but the recommendation is for the council to table it so that city staff have the opportunity to review the information.
Not correct. Their motion was, and I'm sorry I don't have the notes in front of me, their motion was recommend approval of 25.10, subject that it goes to city council after the Public Works Department reviewing all the requested information, which we have done.
Right, I think we're talking past each other. So has city staff had the opportunity to review the information?
Yes.
Okay, and you found it acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the confusion. Any questions on this? Okay. Call for the question, Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
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 And that passes. Item F, approve Lander Sidewalk Change Order Number 2, and this is written including a cost increase, which is not actually part of it. So we'll have to amend this, but as it reads, change order number 2 for cost increase of, I shouldn't have crossed it out proactively, $8,472.30 and a time extension to June 2026. So Regine, actually, let's do motion in a second.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Larson,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember Cassidy. So Regine, anything to add on this, other than we do need to amend to remove the cost increase?
And I haven't been in the office, so I'm not familiar with that amendment and how that came up. So you'll have to ask someone there in the room.
Hunter's our man.
Yeah. Yeah, Lance called to kind of brief me on this one before the meeting too. So yeah, that was an error on the price on that one. It's just for seeding and sodding of the sidewalks project around Gannett Peak Elementary. they ran out of time in the fall to be able to get that seed to sit. So they're going to seed that in when the spring hits.
Okay. And so there's not a cost increase, simply a time extension.
Correct.
Okay, great. So with that, could we get a motion to amend this to remove the financial element?
And Mayor, can I just clarify, because I can try to make that motion, but it's not just the title here on the agenda. I mean, the document itself has the price increase. We're amending this agreement, this change order, like we don't produce this, right? So I just want to make sure, like, what are we amending here?
Right, it does have the amount in,
Yeah.
in column 1, row 2.
Yeah.
Right, and then in
There-
down two below, it says 0, but they both say increase.
Yeah, so this is the second change order.
Mhm.
And the first change order did have a price increase of $8,472.30. But this change order has no dollar amount.
Got it. So thanks,
So
Mayor.
there's on here then, not on.
Correct.
Okay.
Perfect.
Correct.
Yeah, great. Thank you for clarifying that. So the document's accurate that we're approving.
Correct.
Then I move that we approve this Lander Sidewalks change order number 2. I'm sorry, no, I'm making an amendment, aren't I?
Yes.
What am I amending the agenda?
To
I,
remove the cost increase.
Great. I move we approve the Lander Sidewalks change order number 2 with the deletion to the cost increase of $8,472.30.
Great. We've got a motion to amend. Can we get a second?
Second.
Okay, we'll call for the question on that, starting with Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
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 Councilman, sorry, it's your roll.
Yep.
Sorry.
Councilmember Cox.
I seen her lips move.
Yes.
There we go. Now,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the amendment passes, and now the full meal deal, starting with Councilmember Han.
Yes.
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 Great, and that passes as amended. Last up, authorize the mayor to sign a lease application cover sheet, WAM WCCA Energy Lease Program for the Main Street Decorative Light Lamppost Replacement Project Phase 1. Could I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Dan Hahn, seconded by Councilmember Josh Hahn. And Hunter, this is you to fill us in, please.
Sure. So what you're, I guess, approving is just to be able to apply for this grant or this loan, this zero interest loan. As you noticed, Main Street lights, decorative lights are failing quickly. They're obsolete. You can't buy them anymore. So we're needing to start phase these in. They're about $5,000 a piece to replace them. So this is an opportunity to start phasing in that replacement on those. So all this is right now is just to be able to apply for that loan, and then you'll get to another opportunity to actually accept that loan.
Any questions about that? Okay, seeing none, call for the question. Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
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 That motion passes. With that, before moving to adjourn, just a reminder, we are not meeting next Tuesday. We hope to see you next Wednesday from 2 to 4 at the community center, not this location. And anyone want to make a motion to adjourn? Or keep hanging out?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Dan Hahn
Second.
and seconded by Councilmember Josh Hahn. Call for the question. Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
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 Wonderful. See y'all Friday at the holiday party.
Back to the North Pole for some of you.